Okay, so in last and previous lecture, we talk about the endosmosis and everything, right? Now we're going to talk about the cell wall and nucleus. What is this when you talk about? What are they? When you talk about the cell, when you talk about the cell is a structural and functional unit of life. Are you agree with this? So when you talk about the fundamental unit, that means structural and functional should be there. Yes or no? Yes, has to be there, right? Now, when I'm talking about the cell, I have to study the cell. You are aware about the animal cell and the plant cell. Now we're going to talk about the what are the organelle. What is organelle? What is the composition of the cell? You are aware about the cell wall, you are aware about the nucleus, but उससे आगे भी क्या होता है? There are some organelle found in the cell. Example, mitochondria. Mitochondria is called powerhouse of cell responsible for giving the energy. Then apart from that, what is present? Ribosomes are there, endoplasmic reticulums are there, cytoplasm are there, cytosol is also there. We will tell all about it in detail. Okay, so let's study that, and whatever the important, definitely you have to take it in your book. So the moment I tell cell walls, what is the function of cell wall? To protect the cell. Yes or no? But cell wall is absent in animal cell. Why cell wall is absent in animal cell? Because in animals are locomotile. First point is that. और क्या हो सकता है? What is the next one thing? Yes, exactly. So we have just done this earlier, right? Now let's focus on what are the components, or we can say organelle, and what is the function of that. Okay. So in plants, in addition to the plasma membrane, what is plasma membrane? न्यूक्लियर के आजू बाजू जो रहेगा वो क्या रहेगा? प्लाज्मा मेम्ब्रेन रहेगा. Have another outer covering called the cell wall. So if I talk about the cell, this is cell, and this is a double layer we are talking about. This is what? Cell wall. So the plant cell wall is composed of cellulose. Can we eat cellulose? Can we digest cellulose? Definitely not. In human, the enzymes which is required for digestion of cellulose are not there. But in case of ruminants, ruminants means, what is the example of ruminants? Animal, which animal is there? Cow, we can say. Yes, they can digest the cellulose very easily. But have you seen काउ कैसे खाती है खाना? वंस दे स्टार्ट ईट, मतलब क्या करती है? पहले क्या करेंगे? बहुत ज्यादा खाना खा लेंगे. दे विल ईट एट वंस ऑल द थिंग्स, देन विल बी सिटिंग डाउन एट सम, वी कैन से सम जगह पे बैठ जाएगी और क्या करेगी? वॉट एवर दे ईट, दे जस्ट chewing it again and again, because cellulose required much more digestion as compared to the normal one. Okay. So the process of shrinking of protoplasm from the cell wall due to the exosmosis. What is exosmosis? Exo, outside. Osmosis kaha ho raha hai? Bahar ho raha hai. What is exosmosis? Can you tell me? You have written these notes, right? What are the exosmosis? Can anybody read and tell me? Bolo. When cell is placed in a hypertonic solution. So what is hypertonic solution? The concentration is much more higher as compared to the cell. So if the cell is placed in a hypertonic, suppose this is the container, cell is placed here, and this is the solution. Which one? Hypertonic. So concentration is much more as compared to the inner compartment of the cell. So water will be moving. Water will be moving from where to where? From cell to outer. So what is that? Exosmosis is going to happen. A plant cell, when placed in a hypertonic solution, is called the plasmolysis. Now inside the cell, which solution is there? Cytoplasm. That's correct. But that is called the what? Protoplasm. What is proto? Proto means what? Primitive. Proto means primitive. Protoplasm. The moment I say plasma means plasma related something. Why we need plasma? Why need me plasma? Okay. I will tell you one more thing that is very important. This is a cell, right? And this is a cell wall. Okay. Now, inside the cell, there is something present that is called as cytoplasm. Okay. But there is one more thing is there. Suppose I'm drawing nucleus over here. Okay. Here is a mitochondria will be there. Here is some ribosomes are there or something is there. Okay. So, if I'm doing something here, please pay attention. I'm using the green color. Whenever the organelles are present, there is a one more layer is there. One more layer is there who keeps the organelle together. For example, For example, suppose I have this pages along with me. Okay, this pages along with me. I'm keeping this like this. मैं चलते चलते क्या करूंगा, गिर जाऊंगा, तो ये भी क्या हो जाएंगे, गिर जाएंगे. But यही चीज, if I'm placing this all the papers in proper order and in polythene bag, I'm keeping that. If I'm fallen down, is going to fallen down. Definitely it's going to fall down, but it's not gonna spread. So who is protecting these papers? The covering. Which covering? The plastic bag, polythene bag will be there. Similarly, in case of the cell, the organelles are protected. Yes or no? If I'm jumping right now, ऐसा हो गया कि मेरा stomach बाहर आया, intestine बाहर आया. No, what is there? In human body, there is a peritoneal covering. Which covering? Peritoneal covering. Peristalsis is different. That is a contraction relaxation of the muscles in a bolus. Okay, that's fine. Now let's talk about the peritoneal covering. What is that? Peritoneal covering, which help us, all the organs are hold together. In case of cell, cytosol is there. What is the name? Cytosol. Now we will, what is this? Cytoplasm. But inside the cytoplasm, a little very liquid is there, matrix-like structure is there, that is called cytosol, who is responsible for keeping the organelles together. This point is clear? Very good. Now, what we're talking about, animal cell do not show plasmolysis because they do not have a cell wall. That means, how it's possible? In case of plant, cell wall is present. And because of the cell wall, what is happening? There is a covering. So, there is a restricted entry. Yes or no? The two compartments can be distinguished. But in case of animal cell, the cell wall is lack. They do not have a cell wall. That means their cell directly interact with the solutions, right? So there is no two compartment. This is a single compartment will be there. Is this clear? Okay. Now tell me one thing. If the microbes, the skin is a immunity system. Okay, first organ we can say. Skin, when you look at a microscope, you will find a very dry skin is there. Yes or no? कोमल त्वचा नहीं होती. It's a dry skin. Okay. Now what is going to happen? If the microbes are sitting on this skin will be responsible for take out all the water from the microbes. Once the microbes get removed of the water, they are not living one right now. So they are destroying. The skin is a important first mechanism in a microbes. Yes or no? Have you got that point? Okay. Now, why? In case of animal cell, do not show plasmolysis. Why there is no plasmolysis in animal cell? You have to give the answer. They do not have a cell wall. Okay, let's go further. Nucleus. What is nucleus? The one which controls the all the activity. Okay, I can listen. Just I haven't put this. आप question पूछ सकते हो मुझे, ठीक है? What is nucleus? Nucleus is a large spherical organelle. Why it's see organism and organelle. Organism is a combination of all. Organelle is a parts. Small parts are there present in all the cell. Without nucleus, it's possible. Without nucleus, it's possible to perform all the activity. In case of meristematic tissue, we have seen they are continuously growing. Yes or no? But they undergo the process called differentiation. Once they grow in particular area, now these cells are converted, this meristematic tissue are going to convert into what? Permanent tissue. They have lost the ability to divide and redivide. Yes or no? So they are considered as a permanent tissue. Now this permanent tissue are responsible for a division? No, not at all. Okay. So the nucleus. So permanent tissue do have a nucleus. Okay. In case of xylem, they are a dead cell. But initially, they are also made from the meristematic tissue somewhere. Yes or no? Yes or no? They are permanent complex tissues. So once the tracheates are formed or the fibers are formed, they must have a nucleus. But after over the time, they loses the nucleus. Getting my point? That's why they are dead, lignified. Yes or no? Once lignin is enter, it will be dead. Okay. Now one more thing you must have aware about this. Suberin. Suberin is a substance present in the bark of the plant. Where it's present? Bark of the plant that we have discussed. Okay, that point was remaining. That's why I'm going to discuss right now. So suberin is present in the bark of a plant. And what is the use of suberin? If you see the bark is a water resistance, right? You can see that this is wet, but it's water not going inside. So who is responsible for the bark to be water resistant? Act as a suberin. Please make a note somewhere. Please write this. Yes, water resistant. In case of plant, we have a leaf. Leaf has a cuticle and a waxes, right? They prevent the transpiration or of water loss. Yes or no? Yes. So please write your 1 mark question can be asked from here. So please aware about this. Suberin present in the bark. Now let's move further. See, I'm revising all the things. Are you getting my point? I'm revising the things. It will be better to make sure. Okay, chalo. Let's go further. Yeah, suberin present in the bark for a water resistant purpose. Okay. The bark is not getting wet easily, right? So what is nucleus? Nucleus is a large spherical organelle present in all the cell. The nucleus is separated from the cytoplasm by the double layer membrane called a nuclear membrane. That means if you draw the cell structure, this is animal cell I'm drawing. Here is the nucleus. There is a one more layer is there. Which layer is there? The layer is there. Which one? Nuclear membrane. Nuclear membrane is there. Like plasma membrane, nuclear membrane is also porous. What do you mean by porous? The entry is not restricted. Porous means has a perforation. What is perforation? छोटे छोटे क्या हो जाएंगे? Holes रहेंगे from the food or whatever the material is exchange. Okay. Now allows the movement of the substance between the cytoplasm and inside the nucleus. So who is responsible? Listen very carefully. Who is responsible for allowing the substances from cytoplasm to inside the nucleus? Nuclear membrane. Yes or no? Yeah. Inside the nucleus, there are a thread-like structure called a chromatin fiber. What is chromatin fibers? See, chroma. The moment you say chroma, chromosomes, that means something DNA-related things are there. So chromatin fibers are what? A thread-like structures are there. During the cell division, what is the cell division? One cell giving to rise to the two cells. That is cell division via mitosis and meiosis. Okay, mitosis is the process. Please pay attention. Mitosis is the process in which same number of chromosomes are transferred. Okay, 2n, you get 2n, 2n. But in case of meiosis, half number, that is haploid. So can I say mitosis leads to, for example, in case of mitosis, it leads to 2n number. What is 2n number? Diploid. What is the diploid cell who has a number of chromosomes is maintained, mitosis. But in case of meiosis, it dividing. In case of human reproduction cell, if a male gametophyte is a sperm, female gametophyte is ova, they are haploid. What is haploid? Only N will be there. Okay, I will teach you this again. We know that 23 chromosomes from the male, 23 chromosomes from the female combined from the zygote. Zygote is now 46. But we as a human being has a 46 chromosomes. But in a reproduction process, sexual, we can say that the sex organ undergo the or the cell which is in the sexual reproduction undergo the meiosis, not a mitosis. We want variation, right? Are we the exact copy of our parent? Definitely not. We are variant, right? We are variation. हम शैतान है ना? We are variations. Why we have a variation? Because meiosis is done in a reproduction system. Why? Haploid से diploid से क्या हो गया? Haploid हो गया. Are you getting my point? We want 23, 23. So somebody has to be there. Some process has to be taken care. Division should be there. Who is that process? Which process? Meiosis. This point is clear? Okay. Now chromatin material condensed to form a rod-like structure called a chromosomes. What are the chromosomes? A genetic material. What are the chromosomes? Genetic material. What is genetic material? Who are responsible for transfer of genetic information. If the daughter cell are forming, they must have a same properties of the parent cell. So who is giving that information? Chromosomes. Chromosome कैसे form होते हैं? How the chromosomes are forming? Chromatin fibers. Yes or no? Where they are found? Inside the nucleus. Chromosomes are made up of the DNA, deoxyribonucleic acid, and proteins, histone and acidic protein. Now, as per your thing, you have something. What is histone? Anybody knows what is histone? सर हमें पता होता तो हम यहाँ थोड़ी होते हैं ना. What is histone? Now, what is DNA? What is DNA? This is not a DNA. This is the structure of DNA. So DNA is what? Alpha helix. A double alpha helix means what? This is one strand. This is a second strand. नागिन dance नहीं कर रहा. What is this? This is what? A winding one. Okay. So for what is DNA? You are saving a photos, a file in your phone. So memory card is there. So memory card is act like a DNA. Whatever the memories, not that memories, which memories related to the genetic one. That memory is stored inside the body, which is responsible in nucleus. There is a chromosomes are there. So chromosomes are a genetic material memory kind of thing. Yes or no? Are you agree with this? Okay. Now, inside the DNA, all the data is stored. Okay. Now, this DNA is very long, but it is winding now. Okay. क्या हुआ ये? Condensed form में है. So, something has to be there who needs to hold this. So, histone is there. Histones are the protein responsible for the winding of DNA. Please write somewhere or make sure you are writing this. Histones are the protein. Yeah, you have a question? DNA and RNA. First, can you write this histone? I will tell you definitely. What are the histones? Histones are the proteins required or holds the coiling of a DNA. Okay. The moment I talk about the DNA, DNA is what? Deoxyribonucleic acid. It is present in a nucleus only. RNA, ribonucleic acid. So if I remove a oxygen, pay attention. If I remove oxygen from the ribonucleic acid, then I get a DNA. Now, what is the use? Can I get a bunch of pens quickly? Give me pens. Give it. One more, two. Yeah. Now tell me one thing. This is RNA. This is what? RNA. If the RNA combine, ink pen, okay. If the RNA combines, strand is going to form. If I combine this. So DNA is nothing but a combination of RNA. But to join, something has to be removed. That oxygen has to be. Deoxy means what? Oxygen is removed. And now these two fragments are connected. This point is clear. So what is RNA? Ribonucleic acid, or we can say the shorter fragments of DNA. Okay. This is RNA. What is DNA? A long is it? DNA is responsible for genetic material. RNA is required to form the DNA. You will study the transcription and translation process further. In that, they take a important role. Right now, I'm restricted to not to tell that. Otherwise, I will keep going on that. Okay. Okay. Now, what is the function of DNA here? DNA stores all the information for the cell to grow, function, and divide. So DNA is what memory card. Yes or no? Memory card get corrupted, but DNA don't get corrupted, right? So DNA stores all the information for the cell to grow, function, and divide. These segments of DNA are called genes. Means what? Okay. If I draw the DNA, what I'm drawing this DNA structure, these are the bonds. Okay. A, T, G, C. We'll study later on. What is that? But here to draw this. Okay. Now, DNA is a double-stranded helical structure. It has a small fragments. For example, in body, insulin should be secreted. So some part of the DNA is responsible for the insulin, So these are the DNA, nothing but a sequence. These are the sequence. A small sequence are, just ignore that. Okay. The small sequence on the DNA responsible for secretion of enzyme, secretion of the hormones, secretion of the or controlling the system is called the gene, not that genes. Okay, this gene is what? Genie. What does that genie mean? It is a small fragment. Genie can say that a small fragment on whom? On DNA, which responsible for particular hormone, enzyme, example, insulin. Okay. Now you will tell me insulin is secreted by the pancreas, beta cell of Langerhans of pancreas. So who will give the information to pancreas? You have to make the insulin. I mean, there are signals, but initially when the body grows, who is responsible? DNA. So from the DNA, memory is getting stored over here. Okay. You're getting the points? You're getting the points? Yeah, that's great. Genes are hereditary unit of life. What is genes are hereditary unit of life? When you talk about the genes are hereditary unit of life, what is heredity? Yes, past, or how can you answer is correct, but I want more sophisticated answer. What is hereditary? Transfer of genetic material via gene. So hereditary is nothing but the transfer of hereditary material. What is hereditary material? Genetic material. Past, genetic. Okay, done. Shall I go further? Now we are going to talk about the nucleoid. What are we going to talk about? Nucleoid. Prokaryotic organisms lack a Prokaryotic organisms lack a nuclear membrane. Prokaryotic. Now there are eukaryotic and prokaryotic. Eukaryotics are well advanced ones. Prokaryotic are not that much well advanced, right? Mostly they're unicellular. Now, prokaryotic organisms lack a nuclear membrane. Why? What is the function of nuclear membrane? From the cytoplasm, something has to be come into the nucleus. What is required? Nuclear membrane is required. But that is absent in whom? Prokaryotics में क्या होता है? Absent होता है. So around their genetic material. So lack the nuclear membrane around their genetic material. So can I say that in a prokaryotic cell, the genetic material is that much not protected one. In case of prokaryotes, yes, organs scattered. The nuclear region is poorly defined, contains only nucleic acids. Such undefined nuclear material is called a nucleotide. So can I say that nucleoid is only found in a prokaryotic cell because they lack the nuclear membrane and the organelles are scattered. So they are called a nucleoid. So dash found a nucleoid only the prokaryotic cell. Please write this nucleoid only in prokaryotic cell. Prokaryotic organisms. Please write this quickly. Points are clear. Okay. So prokaryotes do not contain a nuclear membrane. Because of that, the organelle is called as a nucleoid. Okay. Notes will get, don't worry, just write that sentence. Now we are moving to the next part. This is very important. Yeah, U means micrometer, UM. Okay. Pro and U. The size of the cell is generally small. How much? 1 to 10 micrometer. Micrometers is very less. I mean, like just you to UM. It's a unit of micrometer. Yeah, U is this U is a Greek word. Yeah, see straight line, then do this. Initially, we do the U like this, right? सिर्फ इसको ऐसा करना है, right? Micrometer. चलो 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 यहाँ पे देखो. Size of the cell is generally small, 1 to 10 micrometer. Size of the cell is generally large. How much? 5 to 100 micrometer in a case of eukaryotic cell. Nucleus is absent as we studied, right? Nuclear membrane is also absent. Nucleoid is present. So where is the nucleoid present in prokaryotic cell? Is not surrounded by the nuclear membrane. Nucleus is absent. Nucleus is absent. Something is problem right here. Yes or no? In case of yeah. Okay. So what we can let's do this. Nucleus is present. Nucleus is present, which is not surrounded by the nuclear membrane, which is surrounded by the nuclear membrane. What? Acha, nuclear. So we have to do this. Okay. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. 1 second. There is a mistake in this only. So we do ourselves. Okay. Size. This is clear. Nucleus is absent. Correct. Nucleoid is present. In case of nucleus is present, or we can write this, nucleus is present, which is surrounded by the nuclear membrane. This is correct now. Very good. It contains a single chromosome. It contains more than one chromosome. Chromosomes is a genetic material. formed from chromatin. Chromatins are thread-like fibers. Membrane bound cell organelle are absent. Why membrane bound? Because there is no membrane at all. So membrane bound organisms are absent. Now, membrane bound cell organelles, mitochondria is present. Endoplasmic reticulum for a protein synthesis, Golgi bodies for storage of the protein. Lysosomes are called suicidal bags. Once the cell attain the maturity, they has to be killed. So who is responsible for that? Lysosomes are present. Cell division takes place by the process of fission and budding. What is fission? If the one cell is there in a prokaryotic, they undergo the binary fission. Fusion is a combination. Fission is a breakdown. Fuse होना means combine होना. Fission मतलब breakdown. So fission, which fission? Binary. Binary means what? What is binary? From one cell, we are getting the two daughter cells, right? So this cell undergo the binary fission, we get a 2. A cleavage is there, right? The cut is there. What is budding? If your yeast cell, you get a protrusion, you get a outward. जैसे हम लोग गिर जाते हैं धप करके, यहाँ पे क्या आएगा? Swelling. There will be a swelling once you get a yes. Then once this is called a bud, and this bud will be grow and attain the maturity, and point come, it will detaches from the parent cell. Okay, so they perform this fission and budding. Cell division takes place by the very complex thing mitosis and meiosis. Mitosis we get a same number of chromosome. Meiosis we get the okay. Chalo, let's write this quickly. Now we just done about the difference between pro and eukaryotic cell, right? And we just changed. जो चीजें गलत थी वो हमने वो भी की. Now cell organelles. We are going to study the organelle. What is inside the cell? We know that nucleus is the one who controlling the. Please pay attention. You can write afterwards. Not an issue. I will show you something. Okay. Now, what we study up till now, the nucleus is whole soul responsible for carry out the whole the processes cellular activity. That's correct. But there are some accessory organs are there. If you take a mobile, if you want to hear songs and all, what do you need? Headphones are needed. So can I say headphones are accessory one? You need a charger. So mobile phone is a main thing, but others are accessory things, right? Similarly, cell organelles are the accessory one, which is required to perform a particular cell activity functions. So when you talk about the endoplasmic reticulum, I will show you the images as well, but I just want to cover first theory and then I will show you some images. Now, endoplasmic reticulum. The endoplasmic reticulum is a series of membranous network in the cytoplasm. So it's like बहुत सारे क्या होंगे? Membranes रहेंगे. Of eukaryotic cell, will be not found in a prokaryotic cell. One end of the endoplasmic reticulum is connected to the nuclear membrane and the other end is connected to the plasma membrane. Most eukaryotic cell have two types of endoplasmic reticulum. First is the rough. Why it's a rough? Because it contains the ribosomes. And what is the function of ribosomes? Protein synthesis. So can I say that those who are the membrane-like structures are called the endoplasmic reticulum. On the endoplasmic reticulum, if the ribosomes are present, they are performing the protein synthesis. So nuclear giving the idea, I want this kind of protein. So who is going to make it? ER. What is ER? But which one? RER. Rough endoplasmic reticulum is responsible for carry out the protein synthesis. Because of the presence of ribosome, the surface is become what? Rough. That is for protein synthesis. Then smooth endoplasmic reticulum, SER, plays an important role in the synthesis of lipids and fats. So this is what we have studied. Okay, we're talking about the cell, right? This is a kind of cell. And what is inside the cell? Numerous things are there, right? So just let's see what is there inside the cell. Can you see the first number when you talk about a nucleus is there, right? What is that? A nucleus. The nucleus is a highly specialized organelle that serve as the information and administrative center of the cell. Why? It has a, what is this fiber called as? What this fiber is called as? Chromatin. Very good. And this chromatin thread-like structure forms further chromosomes. Very good. Okay. That is very important. Now, can you see something over here? One is smooth endoplasmic reticulum and second is a rough. Why rough? Who is present on the rough? Ribosome. What is the function of ribosome? Protein synthesis. Very good. Now let's talk about this thing. Yeah. Thank you. Endoplasmic reticulum. What is endoplasmic reticulum? Is a continuous membrane. Can you see that? Here is a nucleus. Nucleus के just इस side ही क्या है? Endoplasmic reticulum. So can I say that it's a combined one, a communication channel? We can say that yes. So endoplasmic reticulum is a continuous membrane system that forms a series of the flattened sacs. Can you see that? Sacs means bag-like structure. Why they require a bag? To storage of the food. So flattened sacs within the cytoplasm of a eukaryotic cell and serve multiple functions, being important particularly in the synthesis of the protein, folding, modification, and a transport of protein. Once the protein has been done from the ribosomes, they will be transferring towards. So can I say that is a vehicle system inside the nucleus? Yes or no? Nucleus giving information. I want this kind of protein. So who will prepare? Ribosomes. Ribosomes and then given a to parcel of protein to whom? Endoplasmic reticulum. Endoplasmic reticulum give again to the nucleus or somewhere which is needed. Yes or no? Okay. Now third, what we have studied? Golgi apparatus. What is the Golgi apparatus? We're going to study that, but I'm just showing you in this picture. The Golgi apparatus is responsible for transporting, modifying, and packaging protein and lipids. What are the lipids? Oily substances, right? That is required. Mostly the cell wall is from the lipids into the vesicle. For what is vesicle? A storage, small bags are there for the delivery to the targeted destination. If the mitochondria wants protein, who is responsible for transporting the protein? Protein can be done synthesized in the RER, that is what? Rough endoplasmic reticulum. Then it transferred to the Golgi complex where they stored, and whenever they required, can I say that this is a supermarket thing? Whatever required, we can order it. Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Where is the fourth number? Okay, can you see something wire-like structures over here? What is that? A fibers or a cytosol we can talk about, right? Okay, let's talk further. If you go inside, you find something that is mitochondria. But they have written mitochondrion. One single unit is mitochondrion, many mitochondria. So what is the mitochondria? You can say that powerhouse of cell, which layers double membrane bound organelle found in a eukaryotic organism responsible for generation of ATP. सर हमें एटीएम पता है, पैसे निकलते हैं, ये एटीपी क्या है? एडिनो साइन ट्राइफॉस्फेट. Whenever you find a phosphate group that is highly unstable, and whenever it is highly unstable, it is responsible for transfer of energy. Is this clear? There are many more organelles are there in the cell. Can you see something material which is shiny? Cytoplasm is there. And can you see some fibers are there? Have you seen? Yeah. Have you seen something like if I want to build a we can say the building. Okay. Inside iron rods are there, and then I'm going to pour a cement. So can you see that the rod-like structure and cytoplasm act like a cement over here to give the embedded structure? Okay. What is this? Fifth one. Centriole. What is centriole? When you study the meiosis and mitosis, they have a important role in the reproduction. Okay. The centriole is a cylindrical cell structure composed mainly for a protein called tubulin. What is tubulin? A tube-like proteins are there. Why they require? Where they require? In a mitosis and meiosis. We'll study that later on. Right now, you just know about it. So have you gone through all the organelles, whatever there in that? Yes. So this is a cell. This is a nucleus. We just talk about this thing. Okay. So let's go further. Now we just done with the rough endoplasmic reticulum. Do have a what? Ribosome. That's why they are rough. Are they responsible for protein synthesis? Smooth endoplasmic, they are lack of ribosomes. Okay, they do not participate in the protein synthesis. Now endoplasmic reticulum. Do you remember this same diagram just we have seen? Nuclear envelope is there. Can I say that nucleus is just here and they are just extension of the nucleus? So ribosomes are present. This is rough. This is smooth. Smooth is nothing but the storage purpose for it going to use it. Now Golgi apparatus. What is that Golgi apparatus? Can you see Golgi apparatus? Here is a Golgi apparatus. What is the function of Golgi apparatus? Transportation of whatever the protein has synthesized, that whenever the target required. If mitochondria required, if the other organelle require protein, so who is going to transfer towards it? Golgi complex. Golgi apparatus is involved in the synthesis of the plasma membrane and the lysosome. What are the lysosomes? Suicidal bag. Whenever the cell is aged, the one who is responsible for destroying of the cell is lysosome. Now, we are going to study the lysosome here. What are the lysosomes? Lysosomes contain any digestive enzymes. There are many digestive enzymes, and all these enzymes are synthesized in the rough endoplasmic reticulum. So, whatever the enzyme present in the lysosomes are come from. Okay. So they are brought to the lysosome through the Golgi apparatus. So who is going to give? This is the lysosome. Okay. This is suppose lysosome. This is a rough endoplasmic reticulum, and this is Golgi apparatus. So this produce the enzymes and protein. It goes to the Golgi apparatus. From Golgi apparatus come to the lysosomes. These enzymes are capable of breaking down all types of organic substance. That's why it's called as a suicidal bag. Question may be asked over here. Why lysosomes are called the suicidal bags? That time you have to give this answer. After 2 minutes, we're going to take a break. Don't worry. Now, tip, lysosomes are also called the suicidal bags of the cell because when the cell get damaged during the breakdown of the cell structure, lysosome burst and the enzyme eat up their own cells. Okay. This clear? Part is clear? Everybody? Now the mitochondria is called the powerhouse of cell. कब से सुन रहे हैं ना powerhouse. What is the powerhouse? Who is going to give the energy? So mitochondria. See now mitochondria. One is mitochondrion. Many is mitochondria are capable of the self duplication because it has a DNA and RNA and ribosome. So in the cell organelle, who is able to reproduce by its own? Mitochondria. So mitochondria are able to make their own proteins. They do not depend on the rough endoplasmic reticulum for a protein synthesis. They can make their own protein because mitochondria needs a protein by self-made to generate the energy. Okay, the last one, plastids. Plastids are present. What is plastids? Don't write plastics over there. Okay, plastids. Plastids are present in the most of the plant cell, absent in animal cell. They do not present in a. Why? Let's see. Plastids have their own DNA and ribosomes, so they are capable of self-duplicating. There are three types of plastids. Chromoplast. What is chromoplast? Colored plastid except the green color. You must have seen plants in many colors. Not only in green color, they are found in many colors. Who is responsible for that? Chromoplast. Chroma means color. Plast, chloroplast. Green color pigments are stored into the one department that is called chloroplast. Then chloroplasts are green colored plastids. Okay. So plastid only contained by plant cell because they need a pigments, right? And leucoplast is a colorless plastids. So plant never be transparent, but still it's a leucoplast is there. Okay, have you understood this? Okay, so we have done this information that plastids only contained by the plant cell. They do not present in the animal cell. Dash lacks in animal cell. Plastids, okay, that will be the answer. The seventh one we're going to talk about now. Vacuoles. Vacuoles, you know that when we studied the pseudopodia in case of amoeba, they tries to take the food inside. Then what are going to form? Vacuole. Inside the vacuole, we have seen that video, right? In that vacuole, the enzymes are come and then what happened? Yes, digestion has been done. Okay. The plant cell possesses large vacuole. An animal cell contains very small vacuoles. Why? Plant cell are autotrophs. What are autotrophs? I mean, they can make their own food. So after making food, definitely they have to store. In case of animal, we don't make our own food. We just need energy purposes food, right? So that time what we have to do, vacuoles are in a large size in case of plant. They store the water and minerals. Yes or no? Water and minerals. Metabolic waste of the cell are dumped in the vacuole. What is metabolic? Metabolism is composed of two categories that you have to study later, but I will tell you. Catabolism and anabolism. Yeah. See, now what is this? Just remember metabolic activity. I will tell you just extra knowledge. From complex to form complex. We eat the carbohydrate. Carbohydrate is complex one. We need a glucose. Ultimately, we're breaking down. So that will be a catabolism. Anabolism, from glucose is there in a body right now, but glucose has to be stored in glycogen. Again, from simpler to getting complex. That is called anabolism. Okay. So metabolism is nothing but a combination of catabolism and anabolism. They provide the turgidity and the rigidity to the plant cell as it filled with the cell sap. What do you mean by cell sap? Have you ever cut the plant, something is liquid oozing out? That's called a cell sap. That's not a water. See, xylem is going to perform the water absorption and conducting the water from ground level to up level. Okay. So that's a continuous movement. The phloem is responsible for the sugars. So sugar and water. When you cut it, what is going to happen? You're cutting your phloem and xylem. So from xylem, water get mixed with the sugar. And that liquid is called the cell sap. Getting my point? Okay. Now we're going to study the animal cell. This is there in your syllabus, right? So what are the animal cells? See, you have to draw the diagrams of plants and animal cell whenever they required, right? So please make sure you're writing nucleus, centrioles, cytoplasm, mitochondrions, pinocytic vesicle, lysosomes, Golgi vesicles, Golgi complex also there, smooth ER, rough ER, cell plasma, ribosomes, and microtubules. These are the components of the animal cell. Okay, now, okay, pinocytic vesicle means what? See, what can you see something? The opening kind of thing. Cytosis to take inside. Okay, pin like hole structure is there, right? So from here, entry is restricted or can be go outside because this cell wants to do excretion. So for some needed is there, right? In case of seed, you must have seen the small openings, right? From the respiration is done. Okay. So similarly, in this case, vesicle, which one? Pinocytic vesicle is responsible for the exchange purpose. Okay. Chalo. Animal cells are small in size. Why animal cells are small in size? Again, the same. Okay. Animal cells are enclosed by the plasma membrane. Cell wall is not there. Plastids are absent in animal. Why? They do not need a chlorophyll and all, leukocytes and all, right? In animal cells, vacuoles are small, many, and temporary. Why they are temporary? Storage of food we are not doing at all. Okay. Animal cells have the single Golgi apparatus near the nuclear animal. What is the Golgi apparatus? Which helps in the transportation of the protein, which is synthesized by rough endoplasm with the help of ribosome. Animal cells have the centriosomes and centrioles. This will participate into the reproduction. Okay, we'll study in the reproduction. So this is clear. The last one, the plant cell. Plant cells are generally larger than the animal cells. In addition to the plasma, in addition to what? A plasma membrane plant surrounded by the rigid cell wall that is made up of cellulose. And this cellulose is not digestible by the human ones. Plastids are present. Which kind of plastids? Three plastids are there. Chromoplastids, leucoplastin, and yes, chloro. In plant cell, vacuoles are large, fewer, and are permanent. They are permanent. Storage of food has to be done. Plant cell have a many Golgi apparatus. Why many Golgi apparatus? Exchange. Phloem is a unidirectional. No. Xylem is a unidirectional. Phloem is a phloem is what? Multidirection. Bidirectional. Okay. Now, plant cell lack the centriosomes and centrioles because they do not perform the sexual reproduction. They are going by asexual method, right? Okay, so what is that centriole centrioles? They are present in a cell. Is this clear? Just 1 second. Okay, so we have done with the cell, structural and fundamental units of life. Okay.